Of Deng Xiaoping and a painful symbol of China's political repression. But today, as the official mourning period continues, human rights activists can hope that Deng's death may signal a new era of reform. To discuss China's uneasy future, we are joined now in Boston by Chai Ling, former student leader who played a critical role in the Tiananmen Square uprising, and in Dallas, Harry Wu, human rights activist. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Obviously, the future is unpredictable, but Chai, if I might start with you, is this a time of opportunity, or are you worried about China's future today?
I think this is a time for great opportunity. Also, I'm very concerned with the future development. First of all, after Deng Xiaoping's death, the window of opportunity for change is certainly open up for China. What I'm concerned about, what this change is going to be in the future, and right now the current leadership, Jiang Zemin and other leaders, do have opportunity to make China to be democratic through peaceful ways, or they can try to maintain status quo, which is try to maintain a more suppressive regime. I expect that's going to be the case in the short term because the insecurity Jiang Zemin might felt. And what I want to say is, right now he had a good example from Taiwan that it is possible to transfer to society to democracy in peaceful means, and he should definitely consider Taiwan's model seriously.
Yeah. Harry, do you have any sense, though, that there is any support for human rights, for democracy among the men who currently run the country?
From my view, the death of Deng is a symbol of the Deng's communism finished. Let me remind something. Chai Ling is the victim of Deng. I also is a victim of Deng. It happened 40 years ago. So Deng have two bloody hands. Anyway, his time period is finished. Now China face into a foreseeable and unpredictable future. Let me remind some history fact. 1976, when Mao finished, he handpicked the successor, Hua Guofeng. And 2 years later, Hua Guofeng was kicked out by Deng Xiaoping. Today, Jiang Zemin is handpicked by Deng Xiaoping. But I want to say, we don't know about his future. The whole country is totally changing. The people learn from their suffering, learn from their experience, totally going on different direction. But the communists want to remain themselves in the power center. And capitalist system is happening today in China, and they want to keep the so-called socialism system remain in China. This is a fundamental contradiction still over there. I want to say they could, using the human rights issue, to play the political game. It's possible they release Wei Jingsheng, Wang Dan, and just like in 1979, Deng Xiaoping released Harry Wu, but later they arrest Wei Jingsheng. But the human rights have to, until the communist regime kicked out, we would not see the fundamental change.
Well, let me ask Chai Ling, will there be much pressure from below? Can the people tell the government what they want? Is the democracy movement still alive in China?
I believe strongly the democracy movement is alive in China. If you see the energy, the enormous energy in the people who desire to get rich, because getting rich is glorious, and to make more money, and you can see the same desire in their heart, in their eyes, in their voice, that they probably want to have property rights too, which they can protect their wealth that have been accumulated. And if you can tell them you don't have to trade your life to have more property, to have the property rights, and probably people will say, yes, I want that too. So in that case, I think China's desire to have a democratic system, to establish a rule of law, to have independent media, have a freedom of speech is enormous. There's definitely enormous energy in the society, want the society to be more democratic. And also, I want to assure you, even today, within the top party, there's big fiction of people are liberals, believe in liberal reforms. They were silent when Deng Xiaoping was still alive because they did not want to provoke the or disturb the status quo. Now is the time for them to speak out. I think what the future in China really lies, as Henry Wu had just mentioned, that it's very much the choice of Jiang Zemin. He really could have the choice to become China's George Washington, or he can just simply become the second Hua Guofeng. And what he will do in his attitude regarding to the rule of law, the freedom of speech, and reinvestigation of the June 4th massacre will determine what's his future and his legacy in China's history.
Is there a role for us in the West, Harry? What would be appropriate and helpful?
First of all, I want to make some comments about Chai Ling's talking. Please don't overstate, don't overestimate the communist leadership, but don't underestimate the force come from the common Chinese. Not only these people like Wei Jingsheng and Wang Dan, but also underground religious activities, the Tibetans,
I think
the
you're absolutely
Muslims.
right, but I think the future...
it is very important. It is a major force to change China. I think the Americans play a very important role in Chinese. I think it's very important to change China in this moment. American can play a very important role because the Chinese need the West much more than the West need China.
Go ahead, Chai.
Yes, I think Harry made a really good point. There are different forces within society. What lesson I learned from 1989, leading and organizing the Tiananmen movement, is you really have a strong coalition to push the whole society forward. You can't succeed simply by having the force within the party for reform or simply have force in the grassroots level. So what I'm saying right now, the reason why I'm so optimistic towards China's future, because I see this coalition between the grassroots level of the desire for reform, and on the top level within the government, the desire for liberal society, and also from the international community, the coalition understanding and support is much greater than what 7, 8 years ago. So that's really going to lay the foundation for China's future. So right now I have two requests, which is I really urge the current leadership should release political prisoners and my colleague Wang Dan, Wei Jingsheng, and also Bao Tong as soon as possible from prison. And also the second most important thing is to take another look at reassess or revise the verdict of the June 4th, 1989 move, the verdict for 1989. So I believe this would be testimony for the next leadership, and it really will lay the foundation for the future development for the commitment for the rule of law and constitutional reform.
Thank you, Chai Ling. Thank you,
You're
Harry
very
Wu.
welcome.
Thank you.
Business News with Deirdre next on the program.